Welcome to Under the Bridge. But yeah, welcome to Under the Bridge. Thank you guys. We're here with David Rafferty and Jess. What's your last name? Jess Clem.
Yeah.
Thank you. You see how,
and it's Raftery, by the way.
Raftery. Thank you. And you see how well prepared I am. I'm Gary Yarbrough, the host of this podcast.
Blessing and a curse, my last name.
Because it's
actually
hard
just a
to
curse.
remember how to pronounce.
Yarbrough's pretty
Yarbrough.
hairy.
Did we say that right?
Yes, Yarbrough. I like that people try to
Yarbrough.
pronounce it. People have fun with it. I had someone tell me once it reminded them of Marlborough, but so I like to think of Edinburgh, but yeah. So I wanted to do this, and let's set the stage because we are currently in the podcast room of the Bridge Theater in Tempe, and it is currently the last weekend that the Bridge is here in Tempe in this location, and next weekend the Bridge will be at its new location in Mesa. So that's kind of why I wanted to, first of all, take advantage of this podcast room for the last chance I could.
I'm ripping it to shreds right after this podcast.
And
I mean, taking it apart, ripping it to shreds, whatever.
I'm actually, I didn't tell you guys this, but on Sunday there's a rage room happening on here.
In this room. Well, we're taking
bunch
this
of mugs and stuff.
Countertop, whatever this is. We're taking this.
I can hear that on the mics.
Are they?
ASMR. The listeners know
This
that we're talking about
countertop that we're hitting. We're taking.
So hopefully this is the beginning of a series where I wanted to highlight people behind the Bridge, because I think this is a really kind of important community that's behind it. The most important part is the community, not just the shows, not just the classes and workshops, but the people. So I really want to highlight them and start with you guys at this special moment when we're moving into 2025 and into Mesa. So kind of off the bat, to start a general question, what are your biggest hopes for the new Bridge?
I'm really excited for game night. David mentioned there's going to be a game night.
Is that just you on stage playing Halo and everyone watching?
No. It's like board games, video games, just like a community gaming night,
That's
like we want to, because we'll have more space, we'll be able to do more like community events like that where people can elaborate on those friendships they're making in classes and just like getting to know each other more.
Are you planning on like once a month kind of thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
A group that I've performed with a lot and we've done really well together is after every show we went and ate pizza for like 2 years straight. And getting to know each other is such a big deal on stage. Like the more you know each other, the more you trust each other. So like having stuff like that.
I'm very excited just to have a brewery. Like, I'm not a big drinker, but just to know that there's a spot for us to
There's
grab
a bar across the street.
Wings or, Cokes afterwards.
Yeah, and I like how
chairs.
I like how David put it where people can elaborate on their friendship at the
brewery.
At the brewery.
At the Yarbrough Raftery Brewery.
Yeah.
They can elaborate on
Elaborate.
their friendship.
Yeah. I'm most excited for the tech. And maybe it's because I'm doing all the lights.
Okay.
But it's going to be awesome.
He turned our living room
Big video wall?
Last week when all the lights arrived at our apartment, he turned our living room into a rave.
Oh, sweet.
The cats were freaking out.
Do you have a marshmallow bucket DJ head?
No, not yet. But I love tech infused with improv. So I've been working a lot on that.
Same. This podcast series is kind of the culmination of like from 2017 when the first app called Anchor that eventually got bought by Spotify and became Spotify for podcasting. That app came out and I was like recording into my phone like, oh cool, tech is like allowing me to do this, and then I snowballed into green screens during the pandemic and just messing around so I'm stoked to be able to incorporate the Bridge's the creativity in the community around this kind of stuff. Sweet game nights and tech.
Yeah.
And the shows and the community and the classes,
workshops,
everything.
I'm excited for the lobby.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It's surrounded by windows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna sneak some live plants in there. David doesn't want any.
Fake plants only.
No.
We're gonna.
Because
I'm
of
excited
the
for
bugs?
chilies
because
too.
of the bugs or
And the upkeep.
and the water.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna water them. Then they're gonna die.
Melissa.
And then we're gonna throw them out.
I just know her Instagram is
Melissa loves
plant
plants.
something. So that's all I know. Anyways, maybe I'll interview her and find a
Yeah.
little bit more about why she loves plants one day. Yeah,
There you go.
There's a little foreshadowing for the listeners.
But really, also just like beyond the lobby too is like
Chili's is beyond the lobby.
no, but there's
The movie theater.
there's sitting spaces
yeah.
outside with plants
Mhm.
outside, and then like across the way there's gonna be pickleball.
Mm-hmm.
Chili's
Yeah.
has
And 4 months of the
booths.
year where none of it's going to be useful because it'll be scorching hot. No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
Chili's gonna have booths.
We should have a bridge pickleball league. That'd be
I
fun.
well, I think somebody's organizing it already. Chandler is.
Oh, great.
Yeah, Chandler's great.
Well,
So along that line of the lobby and the community, I heard something on a podcast recently that made me think a lot about the bridge because it checked all the boxes. They were talking about specifically how they were friends with each other as podcast hosts because the boxes of friendship that needs to be checked are kind of checked within being podcast hosts. And I realized all these boxes are checked at the bridge. So the first one is proximity. Literally, like, you need to be able to be close to each other. Like, your best friend might live on the other side of the country, and as much as you try to keep in touch or something, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard, even harder to make new friends that way. Next is consistency, and it's specifically consistent, unplanned interactions.
Oh.
You need to be able to bump into each other. Otherwise, you might be close to each other, and you're like, oh, every time we see each other, we gotta do that. We're always saying we gotta, make plans. We're gonna have lunch soon, I swear. So that consistent kind of unplanned interaction, that frequency, and then the final thing, and the most important, is the environment that compels you to let your guard down and be yourself. And as I was hearing all this, I was like, well, that's improv, in a nutshell. And that's everything that's so special about the bridge. And a lot of the friendships I've made at the bridge are probably different than the organic friendships I might have otherwise made in real life, or outside, not real life, but outside of this space, because they don't have those kind of three things. And just the more you put into the bridge, like the more you show up, the more you're going to be bumping into people, having kind of like turning acquaintances into friendships. And it is kind of funny how people always compare improv theaters and communities to cults, or churches or whatever. But there is that bridge that it can make, where it's connecting people a lot more than they otherwise might have been connecting.
Agreed.
That's my monologue on friendship.
it's good.
The unplanned stuff and the letting your guard
Is that
down.
what you're looking forward to?
Yeah, the lobby, and just honestly, probably just multiple rooms, multiple theaters, multiple practice rooms.
That's the reason we're moving.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, we've needed more classroom space for over 2 years. To be honest with you.
All right, I have a question. I have 2 questions, and you guys can answer either of them, and maybe the answer is the same for both of them. Who is your improv hero, and who was your Hollywood crush growing up? Choose wisely. I'll go first. Wayne
That's
Brady. Period.
I had a crush on him too, actually. That's funny.
But no, seriously, there's other improvisers I look up to. I think a cool answer to this for me would be Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz, because I love what they do. But they do something so beyond what I can barely even follow it as an audience member.
Yeah.
Because they're so advanced.
I know.
That I look up to it, but I like to look up to people I also identify with. And Wayne Brady, I watched when I was 9 or 10, and I could see the magic that he was doing. but also just really appreciate it. And that's also kind of where I fell in love with improv a little bit, just watching Whose Line and waiting for the musical part at the end, the hoedown.
I think Jess and I should answer who we think each other's celebrity crushes are.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Guess.
Well, I know who yours is. You should know who mine is.
Yeah.
And then we can do our own heroes, but mine is Robin Williams, and he did improv on stage, but he also took improv off stage everywhere he went. Interviews everywhere, interactions, because he always thought the world was open to play. And that playful mentality. I was just talking with like the ad agency that we're hiring to like do marketing for us. And they're asking like, who likes improv? And I said, people who are open to play. And like in all terms of that word, meaning like when they watch improv, it excites them because they're watching people play. When they're off stage, like it's the most simple of yes and. Like, have you ever like started to be silly with someone? Like even at like a place of work, and they'll play back. That means they have a sense of play in them. And so Robin Williams, like and how much he played all the time. I think, I love Robin.
I like that a lot too. I think a lot of our generation didn't understand that, like when they watched the genie in Aladdin, that was all improv, and like the animators had to figure out how to make.
Really?
Yeah, he's like doing impressions. It's a Disney movie, and he's like doing Jack Nicholson impressions as the genie, and the animators like, I guess we have to make the genie the Jack Nicholson now. But like all that stuff is so deeply ingrained in the playfulness. Great answer. I was just thinking the other day about how I was gypped by not being cast in the genie in an Aladdin play we did in 8th grade.
A lot to live up to, though, right? Will Smith couldn't.
I didn't. I don't think I saw the live action.
I did. It's better than you think, but definitely not as good as.
Yeah.
It's when any cover band tries to do an imitation instead of bringing enough of their own to it, you know.
Yeah. So my improv hero.
Your improv crush. No, wait. Wait. Did you do each other's, or you?
No,
yeah.
He did his improv hero.
Okay.
Was Robin Williams. My improv hero is. Are you gesturing like this because you're ready to say?
For the listeners, David is desperate for Jess to name himself.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. He's going like this.
No, not at
He's
all.
like, me?
No, not
David
at all.
is taking advantage of no cameras in the room.
It's gotta be David though, because he introduced me. He introduced me to the world of improv. Yeah, I didn't think I could do it back in high school when we both knew each other, and I knew there was because we were both in drama, and I knew there was an improv like scene, a little bit of improv club or whatever that was. You guys came to my class, my drama class, and did a little bit of improv. You and Kevin Pooley or something, I think.
Probably, yeah.
And I was like, how do you do that? That's crazy. I don't know that I could ever do that. I wanted to be an actor. And so when I moved down here 13, 14 years later and reconnected with David, I was like, well, he's introduced me into the world of improv. This is what I'm gonna drop everything. I'm going to focus on one thing. I'm not going to do soccer anymore. I'm not going to run anymore. I'm not going to, I'm going to actually focus on one thing rather than having multiple hobbies. And then my goal became quickly after that, probably within my level 1, I was like, I want to be an improv teacher. That was my goal.
Wow.
And
what made you,
yeah.
I want to go back to the acting bit in a minute, but what made you immediately identify that improv teaching was something you were interested in?
It just fell in line with the focus thing. I was like, I want to be someone's go-to. That was all. I was like, I just want to be a source of information for somebody out there because, I have a bachelor's degree. I don't remember anything from when I went to university. I don't remember what I learned. I can't be someone's go-to for that. I'm not an expert in anything, I realized when I was this was when I was 31, 32. I can't remember. This was 2018.
So when you're saying I want to teach improv, you were thinking this is a career choice for me, not necessarily like a...
I don't know if the word career came to mind, but yeah, I think it was along the lines of people are teaching it out there. Like I'm learning from Bill Binder right now at the Torch. Maybe I do the same thing.
Wow, okay.
And make money. But like money wasn't like the thing. It was just like I want to be so good at something to where people come to me and talk shop. Like get advice. Yeah. And I did it.
You teach Improv 101 here, and a lot of the intro, like first time classes. What do you call those? The
free intro. I used to teach free intro.
Okay.
I don't teach the free intro anymore.
Okay. Well, either way, both of those are very much gateways into this art form. People, like you said, David was the person for you.
He was my gateway.
Introduce. Yeah. So you're that person for a lot of people here at the Bridge. What makes you love that? What makes you love being an intro teacher?
Oh gosh, I feel like I think it's right there.
For listeners, I misplaced my Celsius.
I think I had the most spark of an epiphany about this exact question on Wednesday in my 8 p.m. They're in their week 2. And a girl gets on stage and she asks her first line of the scene as a question. As we all know, we're supposed to be, taught out of that.
Wrong. Get off stage.
That's what I yelled at her.
Boo.
No.
Yeah. By the way, I'm excited for the big hook at the new theater.
Yeah,
to really get them off.
That's how I teach. I just boo you. Boo.
That's why you're not a level 1 teacher.
Oh, okay.
But
looking for
when she got off stage and we talked about the scene afterwards, it was astronauts. She was astronauts on the moon already. That was the setting. And her first question, her first statement, her first line, initiation of the scene was, "What are you doing? Or how'd you get here?" She said that to her scene partner. "How did you get here?" And I thought that was so funny because
the reality of
it, but also just like there's a familiarity in that question. Do you know what I mean? Like she has an inkling of who her scene partner is. She has a relationship in mind, maybe. Like it's a fellow astronaut, of course.
I was on the
She's like, "How did you get?"
That you were on.
I don't even remember the second line, the response.
No, the second rocket was like in her blind spot.
There was a second rocket.
I think that is so fun for like, and I told them afterwards, I was like, "You guys enjoy your naivete right now," and they all laughed. But like, for me, I miss that. I miss being so new to improv. And I love watching, and so the only way to like be inspired, or the only way to like fulfill that desire to be new again at improv is to watch newbies at improv and to live through them and to celebrate them, because if you celebrate them, then it'll become like, ooh, maybe I'll do that on stage. Like me in my 6th year of improv, I can ask a question in the first line. And it'll be so funny.
Right.
And you know what? I'm now equipped to know where to go after that.
Yeah. Something along those lines, I've found in myself a little bit is that taking improv a little bit more seriously now, even though I've done maybe like 7 or 8 years over the course of 20 years, come and gone from improv, taking the courses more seriously now is kind of like a native language speaker learning how to speak. Like I remember my mom speaks fluent Spanish, but when I was in Spanish class in high school, I would go to her with my homework. She's like, "I don't know how to conjunctivate or whatever."
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know how to what's it called in Spanish? But yeah, I don't know how to like adjust these verbs. Like I just say it and I know it. So like a lot of times I'm taught something and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that lines up with kind of what I know instinctually," but it's good to know it because I probably break it more often than not or something. Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, I love learning the training wheels so you can kind of take them off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is cool, by the way, just as a side tangent. You said 101, Improv 101, and I'm thankful you said that because you've been paying attention to how we're shaking up our curriculum to include the 200s now.
Yeah.
And with the 200s comes...
Where can they find that information?
The website bridgeimprovtheater.com. But with the 200s, which Dave is going to teach the flagship 201, that comes with learning how to break the rules, which is super fun, and what we're talking about right now. So.
Nice. Yeah.
Anyway, that's my long-winded answer to.
What? Did you have something to say, David?
Who's my celebrity crush?
Oh yeah, will you?
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, since when did that start?
That's
I
a
found
good-
out today she
that's
was
a
in
great
Home Alone
question.
3.
Really?
Oh, no,
She
not
was
back
the-
then. Iron Man 2.
Okay.
First appearance of Black Widow.
Oh, okay.
She was in a great movie with Hugh Jackman called Scoop in 2006.
Okay.
I've been playing a lot of this new movie game online called Cine 2 Nerdle. It's basically like the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon game. And so I've been playing that online this month or this week, and like my movie trivia is very inflated right now.
What is this?
I'll talk to you guys
Oh,
about
okay.
it later. Yeah.
Jess's celebrity crush is Danny DeVito.
Oh, okay.
I hope I didn't just blow out the mic.
The more attractive twin.
That's false. He's just trolling.
Oh, Jack Black?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of them. But, like, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of celebrity crushes.
I wouldn't say you have crushes, but you really like old people. Like, the life of an old person, she's very enamored with that.
Yeah, Jess does great characters that are not her age.
Thank you.
She loves old people.
Yes.
I do. I remember, this just came to my mind last week. As a teenager, I would tell people, I just want to hug old men.
And they were probably like,
Something I used to say as a teenager a lot was, I just wish I was pregnant. And it was because I wanted to be able to eat more at the buffet.
Oh, so you can eat for two.
I just wanted a larger appetite because
Yeah.
I was
Did you
like,
like
I was
food?
I
upset
wish
that
I was pregnant.
That is so funny.
I was
now there's,
normal.
like,
I
shots
just did
that
normal
make you-
things. So.
yeah.
The
Okay.
things we say.
We're all cross talk. Okay,
funny.
so along the lines, what are you guys like pet peeves in improv, and to make it
Oh.
less negative, or to make it less less negative. Like, what are your pet peeves for improv in yourself? I guess.
Ooh.
In myself?
Yeah, something you
Like stuff that I do on stage?
Yeah, most likely it's the same thing. So I'm just gonna say, like, your pet peeves in improv are probably the same.
Oh,
as your pet
I
peeves in yourself,
smoke
so.
way too many cigarettes on stage, and I don't know if it's because, like,
You don't know how to stop. You're addicted.
I'm addicted on stage. Like, once I hit the stage, I'm like, oh, God, I gotta have a
Do
cigarette.
you think about that Penn and Teller bit where they smoke the cigarette and put it out? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Oh, I don't know that.
it's like a classic magician's bit where they like pretend they're putting out the cigarette, but then they pull out another one or something. Anyways,
Oh, wow.
it's a smoking a cigarette. It almost like being trapped in a glass cage is like such a classic mime thing. So I can understand
It's
that.
just my favorite thing to, like, give myself to do while I'm in a scene. Like, you can drink from a cup, you can smoke a cigarette, you can adjust your
I
glasses.
call those things safety blankets.
Yeah. I find myself stuck in a glass cage way too often. Like, oh, here I am again.
Oh, my God.
This guy.
I wish I was pregnant!
I just want to hug an old man.
I just want to hug old men. All right, well.
So I'll be one on stage.
Do you have any pet peeves of improv or for yourself?
For myself, I think it's kind of along the lines of the same thing as, like, why do I go and start typing on a laptop? Why do I always go to start typing?
My favorite part about that is people are always typing on desks that seem to be as big as the computer. They're
That's
like,
so true.
I'm at a personal library station.
That is so funny.
Yeah, the dimensions of pantomime are all off.
For me, my thing, and I always catch myself right after, is I become this guy. I always I revert to the same voice, and I don't know why. I think raspy, funny voice guy is funny. Everyone's gonna find this guy funny, especially when I bring him back the third, fourth time. It's a different character, same voice.
Different character, same
And
voice.
he's probably maybe it started with a different accent, but he's always gonna revert to this guy.
Right. Ooh, that's a good one.
I think that's like 2000s comedy, maybe a little bit like
2000s comedy.
yeah,
A lot of
watching-
Adam Sandler movies.
Well, too much Anchorman. Yeah, I don't know. Jack Black was definitely one of my heroes. I've seen Tenacious D in concert a bunch of times. and
Yeah.
he just, even before it kind of blew up, I just loved his obviously his like clowning and his manners and his facial expression, his intensity. If I had to boil it down,
oh my gosh, I just saw a throwback commercial of Jack Black as a kid.
Pitfall.
He was in a commercial called Pitfall.
Yeah.
What's
for a video game for Atari.
Oh, you guys know what I'm talking about. He still has that intensity in his eyes, even just as a kid.
Yeah, it's great.
It's good.
For the listener, you should YouTube Pitfall commercial with Jack Black. Cool. I wanted to know, what's a time, we can kind of close it out with this, but what's a time that you guys have laughed super, super hard at the bridge?
At the bridge.
It can be recently, it can be a long time ago, it can be you were in a scene, it can be audience.
I have it. Just because it happened so recently, too.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know what I was about to say. So I was in a show 2 weeks ago with Jacob to Sky. I think it was a main stage show. I told you about this, David. He was, because I don't think you saw the show, but we were doing like a macro. And so we were going from different place to place around a farmer's market. And I just walk on doing anything. And I just like start touching something on a booth table. And
the laptop?
No, actually. And he names it as, I don't even know what it was. He names it as a beehive, I think, in my mind. I don't think we actually named it, but he has this whole character. Like, if you want a good study on character work, Jacob to Sky is somebody to watch. Because it was like, everything he said was like, it was like this character that was within him already. Like, he's done it already, which I've never seen him do, this beehive man character. And so I don't know, I became my own character. I became like this white woman. I labeled myself as a white woman. I just wanted to I was like, no, you're being intense right now. I'm just going to make my rounds around the farmer's market. I'll come back. I'll do a loop. I'll come back. Because he was being so intense. That's what I was saying in the scene. But like, I could not stop. Every line he said, I could not stop laughing. And the audience was eating it up, actually, because of how much I was breaking. He was so funny.
So your memory of laughing the hardest is you were in the scene and you were breaking.
Yeah, he was so every line was
That's awesome.
gold. He was just shitting out gold. Yeah. Sorry, it's not you.
No, I don't care.
Were you thinking?
No, I have mine. Mine's really easy.
Go ahead.
What is it?
Manic Monday during Ghost Fest.
Okay.
They're doing like an Adam and Eve scene, and the snakes started having
Dude, that's
intercourse.
That's mine.
Oh my gosh.
That's mine.
Yeah, John and
I wrote it down this morning. Yeah.
John and Tyler.
Tyler, and dude, I died laughing. And in my mind, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm so excited because in my mind, part of the funniest part about it is I asked them later, what did you guys like say to each other? And he goes, let's tangle up.
Yeah, they were just extra parts of the scene. They were just like there was just one snake, and then a second snake came out, and they just kind of like were snaking around, and they locked eyes, and they started to like their tongues were almost touching. And then they, like, one of them grabbed each other's legs.
Yeah, they went past each other, grabbed each other's legs.
And then just rolled around the entire stage, like, in a physical, like, and, like, I think Sam and Peter were the other two on stage, and Sam and Peter just ignored them and continued to fight as Adam and Eve, as the snakes were, like, going at it.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it was like... it
was one of the most physically funny things I've ever seen.
So John and Eric are the same?
Yeah,
no, John and Tyler.
John and Tyler, no dialogue.
No dialogue.
Just snakes introduced to the
Tangled
scene, and then just wrestling snakes. And it was...
I believed that it was intercourse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it was never said.
It felt like
never
those
addressed.
Planet Earth videos of like the pit of snakes.
Yeah, like a British guy.
They were all hissing first, and then they just...
Other.
And they were just... It was just like a hodgepodge, a cluster. Yeah, it was the funniest thing.
The crowd was losing their mind.
Yeah.
I cried laughing.
I was
Really?
in stitches. It was in stitches. It was.
We were all out of breath.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I felt bad. I forget who followed Manic Monday during Ghost Fest, but my God.
I have another one.
We were dead.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
You guys reminded me. It was during a main stage rehearsal on Tuesday, and I think it was like Anthony and Jacob Stovall on stage. Because do you know what I'm talking about?
The hug.
Well,
or they were going up and down the apartment building.
I don't remember what the scene was, but all I remember is I remember it was the first time I ever felt like I was gonna throw up from laughing because it was so throaty.
And that's what we're hoping for at the new theater. it's so funny.
Projectile.
The vomitorium is beautiful.
Yeah.
Everybody's just throwing up.
But what's weird, it stuck with me because Skylar said the same thing. She actually had to get up and leave the room because she felt like...
it wasn't last Tuesday. It was a while ago?
No, yeah, it wasn't.
Oh.
I think we're thinking of... You were in the room. You were doing one-on-ones.
Literally beside herself.
We both almost threw up from laughing. And she's felt that feeling before. I remember we talked about it right after the scene had ended. And I was like, that was my first time for me.
It's funny, too, because rehearsals are like, no one gets to see them.
Yeah.
And it's some of the funniest
improv
that
it's because we're relaxed.
One of most memorable scenes I was in was the Herald class I took with Greg 2 years ago now, almost 3.
Yeah.
And 2 years this month. And it was like Peter and Margaret and a few people, Caesar and some others. And I remember we did, I guess I'm remembering what I did, but I remember we did this like scene where this guy introduced a blueprint robot to a boardroom, but then later in time there was a different Herald scene that like with Elvis, and then the blueprint bot ended up going back in time to steal Elvis's dance moves or something. And that was like, it brought it all together, and I barely remember it now, but the like joy I had in coming out like and laughing to myself and then I remember like drawing it after class because I was like, that was
really
fucking hilarious. Yeah, it's just like I was like, man, I was like, I want to make that movie, you know, like sometimes you come away from an improv Herald especially or a scene and you're like, that was gold.
It was epic.
Yeah.
It was epic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sometimes it's almost sad because it's gone forever.
Yeah, I remember when I first started improv, that's all showcases was like, you know, as you're a teenager, you're like, let's do all the hits.
The Herald showcase was very good for that class.
Oh,
I remember watching
good.
it.
I did not watch it.
It's very, very funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a big...
Weren't you guys in Block Party? Am I crazy? Were you in Block Party?
I think it was just a showcase. I can't remember because it was my first class here. So
I thought one of you performed Friday and then one of you performed Saturday. Maybe I'm crazy. I think maybe I'm crazy.
It might be. So there was a class that did that. It might be a different class.
So let's wrap things up with, we talked about the new bridge. What, and we talked about your guys' hopes for it. But a lot of the people listening to this are people in this community, people that care about this community, people that want to invest into this community, people, I'll say that again, that want to invest in this community. So yeah, let's hear about the fundraiser.
Oh.
So we have like a small goal of like 30 to 40,000, and I think we're at like probably around 20,500 right now or something like that. But it's just a way for the community to come together and like get us things, because we want to add like video recording for all the theaters so that we can have not only for like rehearsals or just like if you do a showcase you can watch yourself,
right,
but like having just a catalog of all the shows online as well, and we want to just make the bridge as awesome as possible. So the fundraiser is just a way for everybody to kind of come together and help with that. We're headed there already, we have a lot of really cool stuff happening at the new theater. Like that is everyone will see next weekend when they come. But the fundraiser, I think it's bridgeimprovtheater.com/fundraiser //.
Yeah, /.
If you go to bridgetheater.com, you can see it on the front page a little.
And it's a way for you to donate. help out. Anything helps.
Anything.
I think, as I said before, you get into the bridge what you get out of it, what you put into it, and that means like effort-wise, but also, you put your heart into it. But I think fundraising, like I love paying for shows here because it means this place gets to survive and the community gets to survive, and so the better, more into the new bridge means cooler lights for our shows.
Yeah, cooler lights. More people that buy classes mean more lights.
Yeah.
And I would say that's like if you're on the fence of like donating or taking a class, take a class.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd rather you come be a part of the community, like you just said, like or come to shows. Like the fundraiser's awesome and it's a great way to donate, especially if you don't live here.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do live here, come to shows, take classes. We want to see you. We'd rather have that than.
What I do is I buy all my candy at the bridge. I don't buy any candy anywhere else.
I think that's what
it's also
Eric
pretty
Cohen
cheap.
does too.
Oh, you guys, I don't know what your margins are like on candy.
I mean, we
lot.
still make money, but it's small. But
not
I
a
know people that buy their candy here because it's cheaper than like the gas station.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Come for that, if anything.
All right, so the bridge, moving to Mesa, January 24th. What's your address?
1061 North Dobson Road, Suite 114, Mesa, Arizona 85201.
Nice. You got it already.
We got shows on Fridays and Saturday nights, 7 and 8:30 p.m., and a jam on Saturday nights at 10.
More jams to come.
That's how I got involved here. You, Jess, were so welcoming. I came on a Friday night. You're like, come back tomorrow to jam. Came to a few jams.
Oh,
did
really?
Some one-day
on
workshops.
Saturday?
Yeah, I came the next day to a jam. Came to some workshops. You guys know the story. I was at a birthday dinner. But I really want to say thank you for doing this podcast today, for the bridge, and for you guys are the ones that put the most in so that we can all get something out of it.
We try.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
Gary's our
son.
son.
You've been waiting for the applause button.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.